Where do things stand with Hasson Reddick right now?
Nothing's changed from our end. Obviously, a ton of respect for Hasson and awaiting his arrival, and looking forward to when he does. He's going to be welcomed with open arms.
Do you expect him to be here for before the opener?
I can't lay out any expectations right now, but when he does arrive, we're all going to be excited.
How frustrated are you with how that situation happened? Now you have to trade for him, it would be part of your team at this point.
I wouldn't say frustration. I mean, obviously we made the move because we have a lot of respect for him as a player and a person, and we think he can help us win games, and felt really good about the conversations leading up to and at the moment of trade. Again, we're just we're going to be excited to add him when he decides to arrive.
Are you willing to?
How would you describe the communication with his team?
I would say clear and direct from the beginning, and I have a lot of respect for the agent as well. Again, the ball's in their court, and whenever he's ready to come here, again, we can't wait to have him.
So why didn't you renegotiate the contract before executing the trade?
Well, I mean, in simple terms, we did talk about an extension once one wasn't agreed upon. We had the conversation and we felt good about making the trade, and so obviously came here, reported, had a great day here, and again we're just waiting his arrival.
Do you feel like there can't renege on a verbal agreement to play under his existing contract?
I'd say that again, from our standpoint, we've been really clear and direct with our communication, and again, a lot of respect for the agent, a lot of respect for the player, and I have faith that this will all get resolved.
Are you willing, Joe, to adjust his current contract without him being here, like to get him here? Like, is that something that you guys would be willing to do?
I mean, I think we've been clear from the outset of, hey, let's get here and then let's talk. So, obviously, again, I want to reiterate the respect I have, but it's just not. I don't have the benefit of just dealing with one person and one agent, and so a lot of decisions that you make reverberate through the locker room and have a ripple effect in the locker room. And so, to me, that is and will always be the most important thing.
Did you? You said at the time he requested a trade, you said in the statement you wouldn't trade him. Would you ever reconsider that?
No, that hasn't changed.
Are there conversations going on with Torrey now, or did you guys stop communication with this?
I wouldn't say we stopped communications. There hasn't been a recent conversation, but no, the phone lines are open.
At this point, Joe, do you need to approach the situation like you were not going to have Hasson in the building to start the regular season? I understand there's still a chance comes up. You want him here, you're going to welcome with open arms, all that stuff. But are you approaching it that we are not going to have him at the moment?
Well, I think we've done that for most of training camp, and we've prepared. We've gone through training camp without him, but obviously we still want him here, and I'm excited to add him again. Can't wait till he comes in, and everyone here is going to welcome him with open arms.
When you made the trade, you said that you had to move on from John Franklin Myers just because of from a salary standpoint. So obviously, you don't have that production to replace that here right now. How do you feel about where the defensive line is at, and guys like are going to have to be at a level they haven't shown yet to replace that production?
Well, so I know we talked after the draft about that trade, and obviously difficult decision to make. But I don't regret that decision, and I can't look back. But at the same time, in terms of replacing that production, I think when you have a guy like Michael Clemens, and we have a really deep room with a lot of good players, and so there's been a lot of great reps and opportunities for Jermaine and Will, and I mean Tack McKinley has been unbelievable, and we've got Big Mike, and he's such a great teammate. He plays with great strain and effort and violence. We've added some good young talent to the room, so we still feel great about our D-line depth as a whole, and a lot of that has to do with the way that we've brought in some of these guys and the way that Robert and Brick and Aaron have developed a lot of these guys to have this many quality active roster players is a credit to them and our scouting staff.
Does he have to be here to like physically show up before you start talking about a contract? Is that like a prerequisite?
That's been the message. Yeah, we've been clear in that.
Joe, you said you weren't frustrated necessarily by this, but the fact that you're still answering all these questions here, we're almost in September, heading into week one, is that part of it that kind of might take away from what's going on, looking forward to week one?
No, I think obviously anyone's going to have to answer questions in a situation like that, and I certainly understand that. But I can tell you the locker room's in a phenomenal place. Training camp was unbelievable. The energy, the passion, the togetherness that the team has shown has been pretty remarkable. And so, understand we got to talk about this. Fully appreciate that. But the locker room's in a good place.
I understand that you.
Anything you would have done differently from beginning the talks to now?
No.
Joe, I understand you want Reddick here before you guys start negotiating a new deal. But what do you need to see from him this year, like with you guys? Because he's a very proven player. He's got double-digit sacks quite a bit. So what do you specifically need to see from him before you guys commit to him?
I just want to see him in the building. I just want to see him around his teammates. I know how excited they are to be around him.
When's the last time you spoke with Hasson directly?
When he was here.
What's the sense of urgency, though? You have an older team, and you want to get everything done this year, basically. So what's the sense of urgency to make sure that it's lingered probably longer than you wanted, but for it to finally come to an end?
Yeah, there is a sense of urgency in everything we do. But from our viewpoint, there's a lot of factors that go into decisions and how you want to operate, and so we have to stay true to our beliefs and our message and to the locker room.
Has it been relayed to you that Reddick is willing to sit out the year?
I'm not going to get into any specifics about any conversations, but obviously we felt good about all these conversations prior to making the trade.
And how damning is that, Joe, that you have these conversations, you feel great, you feel like you're on the same page, and here we are now where it seems like it's been a complete total 180?
I don't see it as damning. I just don't. Everybody has different reasons for doing what they want to do.
You mentioned the roster, and just Robert talked about chaos last year, and just how do you feel about the roster in general, and just how do you feel about if things hit the fan, how this team will be able to navigate through them like they were last year?
Yeah. Well, I think when things did hit the fan last year, I think one of the more encouraging things was how the team stayed together and how hard the team played. There was never a wavering of effort or togetherness, and I thought that was one of the silver linings of a difficult season. But as the team stands now, I feel like this has been a remarkable training camp, and I feel like this is a great collection of talent and character, as good of a collection of people as I've been around in 24 years. And so really I'm excited about this journey. I have no idea where it's going to end, but I think this is a great group to lock arms and travel with.
So this is your sixth season. You've had a lot of time to get your stamp on the club. How much pressure do you feel that this year, there has to be more than just growth or signs? There has to be actual results this year and wins and playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard me say it before. Like, pressure's every day. I mean, and we're past the point of growth. And I feel like this is a team that's ready to win, and I feel really good about saying that because of the work that everybody's put in, staff, the football operations staff, coaching staff, players. This has been a really good training camp, and so I can't wait to see all the fruits of everyone's labor as the season goes. And obviously it's going to be a roller coaster season just like any other season, but again, it's a great group of people to take the journey with.
What happened with the Lewis Seam situation?
Just a change of heart, I guess. So, is that a Zelda shirt?
Yes.
I think so. That's pretty sweet. I couldn't see it because of the yeah.
Yeah, big fan.
No, I actually hated that game, but I love Nintendo was my jam.
Going back to the Reddick thing. Great transition there.
Should be a punch-out shirt. Mike Tyson's.
You had said, you have other agents to deal with it, and understandably, you don't want to set a precedent. Some people will say that this is not a typical situation because you guys, when you dealt for him, you knew what was on the table. You wanted a new contract. So what would your response be to that?
Look, I mean, the response is the same. Like, we had great conversations, and we're just excited for him to get here.
What happened? So it's a little puzzling because, all right, so you talked about an extension with him at the time of the trade. Right? You said that. So obviously he didn't accept that extension, and then all of a sudden radio silence. Were there subsequent extension talks after that?
I wouldn't say it was like that. I wouldn't say it went from that to radio silence. There was obviously more discussions prior to the trade.
Were you surprised, Joe, when he didn't show up for OTAs?
No, I wouldn't say I was surprised. They're voluntary, so plenty of players don't arrive for that.
How do you feel about what you've seen from your quarterback in training camp?
He's amazing. I mean, obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, and there's days where he just goes out there and he just doesn't miss. Just the command he has of the offense, the ability to get the offense into the right play against the right defense, the accuracy, the delivery, the leadership, and also having it's a great room. Being with Tyrod again has been pretty cool for me personally. Being back with Tyrod because he's such an unbelievable human being and competitor, and it's a really cool room for guys like Adrian and Jordan to be a part of, to be able to be in that room with that much experience and knowledge. It's just a great opportunity for those guys to grow.
So is this the best you've felt about your offensive line going into the season?
Absolutely. I feel like this team, probably another silver lining for a tough year was that we had so many offensive linemen that had to play that really pretty much our entire depth outside of Olu started games for us. And so, Keith and Ben and Kuz, they've done a great job, and the additions that we brought in are such spectacular human beings and leaders and just great people. They work so hard, and you could see the group coming together as a unit. And so, I'm excited to see the O-line out there.
For all the excitement there was last summer, have pulled away 20 minutes or whatever it was. Is it hard to allow yourself to get that excited again about this year's team?
Yeah, you try to stay even keel, through all the highs and lows. I mean, obviously last season was tough for a lot of people, and so, but it's hard not to get excited when you're around these guys, and their energy and their positivity and their togetherness. So, I feel like that it makes it that much easier to put last year in the rearview mirror.
So what
You talk about more.
are your expectations for Will McDowell this year?
I think Will's had a superb camp, and Will's come in on a mission, and he's his skills are undeniable, and I feel like he can really bring some elite athleticism off the edge, his change of direction, and his speed off the ball, his counter, and he's one of those guys that's constantly working to improve every day. So. You'd love to see Will take that step that Jermaine took last year. Each person's different in their development, but I think we've seen a lot of positive practices and positive ascension from Will.
You have 3 undrafted free agents on the defensive line. Let's talk about those guys and the ability to find that type of talent, beyond just the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been around a situation where 3 undrafted free agent D linemen made it from the same group. I mean, last year we had 2 undrafted wide receivers make it, but to have 3 undrafted guys at a premium position like D line come in and really do their thing again, it's a credit to a lot of people. It's a credit to the work that goes in recruiting these young men, our scouts evaluating the players. I think we've got a really special thing going in terms of the relationship we have with our coaching staff, personnel, and coaching staff, because everyone's on the same page. We know exactly what our coaches are looking for, and we can point to specific examples of guys coming in that may not have been premium picks, but being developed by a great staff. And so I think that's led to some of our undrafted free agent success. And for us to have 3 undrafted D linemen and then 2 other guys from this undrafted class go to other active teams. Again, 2 DBs and Tony Oden and Brick and Aaron Whitecott, and our entire staff does such a great job of developing these guys when they get here, and it's all a culmination of great relationship and communication between personnel and coaching.
Joe, Robert
Last one.
On Tuesday was talking about what he learned from last season and kind of, I'm paraphrasing, but kind of reconnecting with what he can control in football. Have you seen a difference in him now? This is your 4th year together. Have you seen a difference in him this offseason in training camp?
Robert's the same guy, supremely positive and energetic and open with his thoughts and communications, and so I feel like everyone's, with the more experience you have, more comfort you have, better you get. So I think we're all in year 4, 5, 6 in our roles, and he's really grown into this amazing leader. He was always an amazing leader when he came in here, but just the way he can communicate with people and the energy he brings every day. And I know I've talked about the team meetings at length when I go into how great they are, but he's a great person and great coach.